What's up, everybody? Hey, my name is Kanary Blac, and welcome back to season 2 of the Kanary Show. We're back, and kicking off season 2, we have none other than the wonderful Boybarbii. What's up, Barbie?
What's up? What's going on? What's cracking?
Hey, it is so good to have you on the show, and we're talking about everything petty. We're talking about the music. We're talking about everything. We're just gonna get into the nitty gritty. So I want to introduce everybody that probably don't know me. Hi, my name is Kanary Blac. I'm a rapper. I'm an activist. I'm a social media influencer. And yeah, grab a seat, sit back, grab a snack because we about to get into some things. Okay, okay.
Okay.
So, okay. So Barbie, to some people that may not know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself. What people that may not know you.
Okay. My name is Boybarbii. That's Boybarbii. Hold the E. I'm a rapper, a producer, a dancer, actor. All of it. I'm just that girl. And my
That's
album's out.
So yes, everybody, the album is out. So before we speak about the album, let's start from the early beginnings. So a lot of people, they may have known you from like the music you've dropped, but a lot of people don't know you actually started doing Instagram freestyle. So you're this young artist at the time. What time did you actually consider yourself entering into the game? Like, when do you feel like you originally came in?
Around like 2016 through 2017. I was around 13.
So at the time, because during the years like that, that's when Instagram was really booming. That's when you used to have like the
Mm-hmm.
IG dancers and that whole wave.
Mm-hmm.
You had a lot of people trying to rap. What made you actually be like, okay, I feel like I need to give this a try? Like, what made you build up the courage to actually pursue something like that at the time, being that there was like not that many people even doing it like that?
To be honest, it's really a blur. Like, I don't remember anything because I'm really like, I might put on the facade that I'm a confident person. That's what y'all might see when y'all look at me and when y'all see me and when y'all see me on these pictures and these videos I do when I rap. But genuinely, I am the most shy, awkward person you will ever meet. So thinking about it back then, I don't know what really like pushed me to release a rap video, even when like back then I was not good. So I don't know what made me want to do that, but I guess it was just like inevitable. I guess it was just fate. That's really all I can say because genuinely, I do not remember what made me want to do it. I do remember what made me want to like start rapping, which was, Nicki Minaj.
Mm-hmm.
Killuminati was popping, and she had went viral for her, her rapping in her bedroom. So I remember wanting to do that, but I don't know why I posted it. I think I was just like, fuck it.
All right, so that sounds good. So you sit here saying that it's all a blur, you don't really remember things like that. But while you were sitting here doing it, did you feel anybody kind of embrace you? Did you have anybody to kind of look up to and mentor you through this social media thing, or was it you kind of like your own boss and just navigated things by yourself?
A little bit of both, because the community was much smaller than what it is now, and there were only a handful of people that I knew of that were like really popping shit and really like setting the standard for what gay rap in the community should be. Khaled, JB Got It, Foreign Mar, King Dre Sean, people like them, they, especially Khaled and Akilo, they really took me under their wing. And those are people I still talk to this day, even though it was so long ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I still talk to them to this day, and I'm really grateful for them because a lot of people didn't fuck with me back then because I was young. So I was, prone to start drama and shit as a young person does, as a 14-year-old does when they're around a bunch of people that are arguing and fussing shit. I wanted to be a part of it. Fuck it. So they didn't see me as a messy bitch. They saw me as a talented young person who was just trying to do the same thing that they're doing, that is chase a dream. And I'm really thankful for them for doing that because, girl, a lot of them did not fuck with me at all. When I tell you, it was just a lot going on because not many people fucked with me at all, which, granted, I understand, but like, it was hectic.
And then also
that,
not only that, with you being so young, a lot of them didn't have that courage to do what you were already doing so early on. It took them a little bit long to actually, and then not only that, when you came in so strong. People were already paying attention to you because of your talent. So that's good. That's good. So You talked about, the drama people not living you. So let's discuss the number one dog situation. So a lot of people may not know one of the biggest things that ever happened in this industry is when you had, the beef with, I One Kendall, the whole Illuminati situation. When that situation went down, do you think you were expecting something like that to happen so early on? Or was it just kind of like, dang, I'm kind of prepared now. I expected something like this to happen as I continue to progress through my career.
Well, I obviously knew that because that wasn't my first diss track. Like I started making music by doing diss tracks. Like that was the first thing I did. I was making diss tracks on like girls and boys from my school when I was in middle school. But I mean, I like to rap. I like to write. I like to make music. So if I feel a certain way and I, put it in a song, that's what it is. That's what it, I don't. But yeah, I mean, shit happens. A lot of people don't fuck with me. A lot of people don't fuck with you. Things happen. I did what I did. They did what they did or what they didn't do. And we kept it pushing. We kept it pushing.
So, after, number one dog, it came out and, you was receiving feedback and things like that. Was it just kind of like, now I feel like I have something to prove now? I have people that a lot of people respect now coming at me. So it's just kind of like, do you feel like you have to prove yourself to anybody when you have people with bigger followings and things like that coming at you? Or do you just remain humble to yourself and continue to do what you're doing?
A little bit of both, because genuinely, I don't give a fuck when nobody thinks of me unless genuinely I don't. But unless like you're somebody like Tell It or Jay Ling or Margella, who are there to help me out in the long run and try to give me advice and constructive criticism, not hate, because, like that's what it really gave for the longest time for from a lot of people was hate. It didn't give like, you're trying to like be productive and tell me what I'm doing wrong. It gave, you were trying to put me down in order to bring yourself up. So when Number One Dog, when that came out, I genuinely like, I expected a reaction, but I didn't really care what the reaction was because I already knew. People don't understand what the difference of cocky and confident is. I've grown a lot. I've grown a lot. That 13-year-old boy has grown a lot. And
Absolutely.
I've learned that when your pen speaks for itself, you can talk however much shit you want to. Cause bitch,
Absolutely.
I know how to fight.
Period. And that's
So yeah. I just genuinely did not give a fuck about what people thought about it or how people felt. Cause I knew, obviously the people that it was directed towards, they were gonna have a reaction. Cool. I expected that. But yeah, I don't really care. I don't really care. None of them matter.
right.
None of them matter at all.
It's just what it is. Okay, so progressing from number one dog, you're continuing through your career. When was it that you realized, like, wow, there's a whole industry down there? Like, when did you start meeting like-minded people like you? Do you remember the first person that you met that's kind of like, dang, like, he's just like me? Like, who do you feel like kind of ushers you into this community that we call the underground? Because I remember you was here. You was here before a lot of people actually were, and a lot of people don't know that.
I was doing the things that the girls do. And I don't like taking credit for this because some people might not have seen me when they were first, starting to rap. That's fine. I'm only 18. I'm not Nicki Minaj. Like I never, I don't want to be Nicki Minaj. I'm just me. I'm Boybarbii. If you felt like you saw me when you were starting to rap and you like were living for me, then that's fine. And I like, thank you. But I'm never going to be like, oh, I was the first bitch to do this, the first bitch to do that. Because, maybe you didn't really see me doing that. I mean, I pop my shit in my songs regardless. Ooh. Down. Garza down. I pop my shit regardless in my songs. I say what I mean. I will say, in my opinion, I was one of the first, not the first, one of the first that I know of to start doing the whole Instagram video shit in the gay community. But to answer your question, Zay, Logical Zay, Juju, and then my boyfriend. I
Yeah.
mean, Jay makes music. Drag. I knew drag really early when I first started. Drag Star. I knew drag really early when I first started. Also, Caramel Chris, aka John Levon, knew him really early. Akilo Tellid. There's probably more, but I'm slow as fuck. So yeah,
Absolutely.
but I never really made a friend group until I started talking to you and Zay and Junior and Jay and all of the Power Rangers.
Absolutely.
I never really had a friend group until I started talking to y'all, because y'all are in my age group. Y'all can understand me,
Right.
and I can
And
understand y'all.
sometimes you need people like that when going through an industry like this, because even though you got respect from people so early on, like probably quicker than most, you're still a young teenager. You still, even though you have these people that are respected, giving you props and telling you how to do this, it's just like, okay, but when am I gonna find somebody that's like me, that's at the same place as me? And that kind of leads into my next question. Being that you've been doing this so early, do you feel like you're at the place that you're supposed to be, being that you've been doing this so long? Back when it was popular to freestyle on Instagram, back when, before any of us was even out yet, do you sometimes see other people that went through the same thing you went through and that are popping and everybody knows them and kind of just be like, dang, like, that I was supposed to be one of them,
Well, I know my time is coming. I know my time is coming. So I try not to think about, who is progressing faster than me. I try to think about how I can progress even faster. I don't really care. Like I said, I know my time is coming. I know I was put on this earth to do something, and this is what it is. Nothing really ever stuck for me but this. I tried to do dance. I tried to do photography. I thought I was going to be a drawer, like a painter, artist. Nothing really ever stuck, but makeup and rap. Nothing really stuck. And good thing that they go hand in hand.
Hand in
Really.
hand in hand.
So yeah, I know my time is coming. So I try not to think. I mean, sometimes it does get, a little bit like, damn, I can't lie. Like sometimes you will have those thoughts in your head where you're like, damn, like I feel like I'm just, just like stagnant as fuck when this, and I'm so talented and I'm above. I feel like I've done a lot to prove that I'm talented. And there's certain people that, not to discredit nobody, but let's be real, there are certain people that are very lackluster and they get by doing the most mediocre shit. And I'm still on the underground while they're, up.
Right.
But like I said, kudos to them. That's how if you feeding your family at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And that's all that matters. You feeding you and your family. That's all that matters. And I'm going to be doing both soon. Like I said, your time is coming. Your time is coming. It's not going to happen immediately. Shit. J. Cole, Kendrick, they didn't just immediately pop off. It took time. It took time. So yeah.
Absolutely. So after all of that, here comes Blame May, your first album. Going into Blame May, was it a mindset of, okay, I'm making an album. This is for the album. This is for the album. This is for the album. I want to do this on the album. Or was it just kind of just like, okay, why not do an album? Did you go in there planning to do an album, or did you just go in there kind of like, I just feel like I want to release one? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, was it a strategic move?
It really was just me feeling like releasing one, because before Blame May, I don't think I really had a huge discography. I didn't really have much of a catalog. So I was like, okay, well, fuck it. I have all these songs, and why not just make it into an album? I remember I started forming it into an album and really saying, okay, this is an album, when I started making Good Grip and Check a Bitch. I made those two songs.
Good songs, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, bops. But I made those two songs near the end of Blame May when I was wrapping everything up, and I was like, well, here we go.
So how do you think the feedback was?
It was great.
Was it what you expected?
Yeah, it was more than what I expected, to be honest, for an underground artist and for someone who, not a lot of people fuck with. Like I hate to be that nobody fucks with me type of person, but I mean, let's be real. Like a lot of people don't like me. And that's perfectly fine. But for Blame May, a lot of it got a lot of good feedback. It got a lot of good feedback for what it was. Me personally, I don't think Blame May is a strong album. Other people might feel like that, but they're not me. You know, as an artist, you critique everything you do, and you're going to see the flaws where the fans don't, you know, where the
Right.
listeners don't see the flaws, you're going to see them because
Absolutely.
you made it. So I don't think Blame May is my best work at all. So the feedback it got for what it was giving, I was satisfied. I was
Right.
satisfied.
Absolutely. That's so good. Now let's get into a little bit of Blame May. So the features that you picked on Blame May, were those your friends at the time, or were those like people that you always wanted to work with? Like, did you really even want to do features in the first place doing the album?
Both. I of course I wanted to do features. I mean,
Mhm.
people gonna think I'm crazy, but it's
Mhm.
kind of hard for me to write a solo song when I don't feel the need to put a second verse on it. Like
Mhm.
if I don't feel like I'm if I don't feel the need to put a second verse on it and I pop my shit in the first verse, I'm gonna end up sending it to somebody else because I said what I said. But the people that are on it, let me think who was all on it. I know Junior was on it, Giuseppe was on it, TK was on it. Was that it? I think that's it. I think
Yeah,
and Jay
that
Ling and Jay Ling
Jaylene,
and Jay
Jaylene.
Ling. All the features on there, I'm happy. I'm happy about. And yes, they're all my friends. Well,
Mhm. We're gonna get in. Yeah, got you there.
some are my friends.
Yeah,
A good third of
yeah.
them are my friends.
But you made
But
excellent
at the
music. No
time,
matter what the
yeah.
relationship was, y'all at that time made good music together.
Mm-hmm.
That no matter what the relationship is now, that music still
Yeah.
lives on.
Yeah.
But there was something that I noticed because I revisited your discography before we did this interview. There was a shift between Blame May and Blame May Deluxe that's noticeable. It was almost kind of like a shifting of the mind almost. There's a
Mm-hmm.
song that you have with Zaya. I'm not sure of what was the name of it.
You like boys.
You Like Boys. So it was something about that song that is so. It's almost kind of foreshadowing. It's almost kind of foreshadowing that it's just kind of like it's this certain topic that you're talking about that we're going to talk about the album that's just kind of symbolic. It was just kind of like, okay, I'm already sort of kind of feeling feelings like this, but I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to really unpack those feelings
Mm-hmm.
as much being after I just came off an album such as Blame May.
Mm-hmm.
But even with the deluxe, it's kind of like I'm comfortable almost. It's just like I'm comfortable with having feelings. I'm comfortable with all these things. So what do you feel like shifted between the regular Blame May and the deluxe that people may not have known? Did something change?
Yeah, a lot. First of all, when Blame May came out, I had just got my first job. I was, starting to develop feelings for somebody who I worked with.
Mm-hmm.
So that was when Blame May had first came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I started working on the deluxe maybe like a month after it came out because I had dropped Not the Same with Junior.
Mm-hmm.
And it came out in September. But I feel like I just like was going through a lot in my brain and I was going through a lot of emotions because, when you're in love with somebody, a lot of things happen. A lot of things
Absolutely.
happen. So I was going through a lot mentally. So I made You Like Boys and I made Temple. And You Like Boys, I really spoke in detail of who this person is, who the album is about, who Pity is
Mm-hmm.
about. And in Temple, I spoke heavily about what having feelings and what love really did to my brain and
Right.
how I thought about myself. Even though I didn't really talk about it like that or the person that made me feel that way, because at the end of the day, it's me. You didn't necessarily make me feel that way. I made myself feel that way for thinking that you were ever gonna live for me in any
Right.
sort of way. So it was definitely a shift. I was going through so much at that time: depression, uh, eating disorder, a whole lot of body dysmorphia. Like it was just a lot. It was just a lot.
And it's so, and I think that's one thing people likes about your music and music lovers in general is the fact that if you're listening to an artist, whenever they go to a different place in their life, you can sense it through the music. On
Mm-hmm.
Blank May, it came across as you was being confident, you were showing who you are, you were letting us know who Boybarbii is. But under the Deluxe, we still knew who Boybarbii was, but it's just kind of like there's something else happening now. And it's telling through the music. And with all of that being said, there was a song that dropped by the name of Mixed Feelings. So when Mixed Feelings dropped, first of all, how did the song come about in general? Like, because that was one of the most vulnerable songs you had ever put out yet. Like, what made you actually want to release that?
Well, I had already been working on the album, and when I was working on Pity, there was a lot of topics that I didn't even know I had the like strength or had the courage to talk about, or even had the ability, period, to talk about, because I didn't know it was in me like that. I underestimated my writing a lot in the process of this album. Mixed Feelings came about. I was really just a lot. You'll notice, like, if you really listen to my music, a lot of my hooks sound like verses. So Mixed Feelings was the hook. It was kind of like a verse, but then somehow it turned into like a freestyle, which turned into a full hook verse hook type of song. I remember after I had finished making it, a few days later, I was like listening to it. Like, I don't know why, but it kept playing in my head. I would go to sleep and Mixed Feelings kept playing in my head. Like, it would give me a headache. That it just kept playing in my fucking head. And for some reason, I felt the need to, like, I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna drop it, and this is a sign. But yeah, Mixed Feelings came about because I really was just in my bag at the time, and I was trying to speak how I felt at the moment, I was trying to put my head back into a time where I was really vulnerable, and I was trying to tell this person, tell me just how you feel, because I don't know how to read your mind. Because you're telling me one thing, then doing another thing, but then not telling me anything at all. So I'm getting mixed feelings, mixed signals, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it was just like, I think that's one of the most truthful songs on this album.
Vulnerable as well. And the emotion, the feelings that captivate you as soon as you put on the song is really, truly something that I feel like people should get a listen. Well, guys, that wraps up part 1 of the interview. Don't go nowhere. Part 2 will be up soon. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about Pity, all things more, who Boybarbii may have a crush on, or even maybe dating in the industry. You'll never know. But keep it locked right here. It's the Kanary Blac Show. See you in part 2.